Next to Cornwall.
Okay.
And our pasties are so much better.
Oh, well, I had a mate staying in this office here who was from Cornwall.
Oh, yeah.
He had a funny story. He's a surfer and he didn't clean his ears ever. and I actually knew him. He's like this really loud, real geezer, right? For a year, I'd talk back to him in this way. Like, he'd be like this and I'd be like, yeah, man, yeah, great guy, right? Always saw us surfing. And he'd put earplugs in every time we'd go surfing. It was something he always did.
Did he need to?
No. Well, but he and it's so cold in the UK that he has like a full head bonnet and gloves and so he just kept doing the same sort of thing, pushing the earplugs in. He finally went, he couldn't hear anything one day. Everything's just all of a sudden. So I went to the doctor and they said, mate, your ears are so jam-packed with wax that we have to get them out. So they put this drops in. He had to go to the hospital 3 times to get this stuff. This all happened in this office. So that he kept coming in going, mate, I can't get it out. Finally, long story short, they got the wax out, but it changed his entire life. It's one of the senses, right? Yeah. So he turned into this guy. He didn't realise that when you put your indicator on in the car, that you could hear.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he didn't know that when you tap the keyboard, you could hear. And he's a website guy.
Yeah.
So he actually turned. So I started talking to him on that level too. So he became this. He loves music too. So he actually changed his music taste because he realised all these other sounds in the sound, and then he left his wife. Not left his wife.
What? Because she talked too much.
Everything. No, I don't know. But there's something in it. Everything changed. Every single thing changed. Really interesting guy. But he went from being a geezer, right, to but great
really
guy.
Relaxed.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're. I want to call you like an earthly kind of person, because when from a distance, I want to go to the UK. My mum's from the UK, and all I see is what I see on TV, and I was raised on English comedies.
Yeah.
You know? I just think
the dry humour.
It's where everyone is, where we're from, and so every time I meet I had a mechanic for a long time. He was a Northerner, he had this whole different atmosphere. I find it really interesting. So it's good when you see people from other countries in this town having a good time and actually succeeding and not living in Nerang and getting tied down into a factory job or something. Yeah. Actually, using this place as a stepping stone for the world.
Yeah. Well, there's so many options here. There's so many creative people that, the likes of Buskers by the Creek, Swell Sculpture Festival, they've all given me the platform to perform on. They've given me the chance to create these shows and to put on an amazing show that's unique.
Yeah. Well, I think the Gold Coast, I've lived here since '98.
From where?
From Sydney, but I was raised in Brisbane. Mm. And when I got here, it was like, I think the place has been quite stale for 10 years, because the Gold Coast was known in the 50s and 60s as a real sort of party and entertainment place. Yeah. And it's where the Bee Gees did 6 nights a week and lots of things like that. There were lots and lots of live entertainment, and the place was based around that. Somewhere along the lines, it got lost. Mm. I think in the 90s, when poker machines started and all entertainment stopped, and also the entertainers stopped being entertaining. I've been in bands and industry like that for a long time, and somehow it stopped being like this cool 60 shows where everyone's dancing on stage trying to entertain the crowd into a staring down at the ground, don't look at me sort of show.
Playing the lights. Ding, on the pokies.
Yeah. But I'm really hoping. So that's why I get excited that people like you can land in this city and you don't even know that's happened in the last 10 years. No. So you don't have this preconceived thought that you're just like, boom, this is what we're going to do. This is a great thing.
Yeah, let's push it.
And it just inspires other people to do the same sort of thing. And it's really good to see. It's a pity we are so far away. It's a strange country like that. You could go to Devon. And then up to, in your tiny little British Isles there, all the language has changed so much.
The accents are insane, aren't they?
It's wild. To any Aussie, I've travelled the country in Australia a lot, and our accent's pretty much exactly the same. Yeah. In every town, everything is exactly the same. It'll change over time, but not in a hurry, because we don't get that many you know, it's basically this one culture. It's going to take a lot of time to change that, only because we're at this island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but it's such a multicultural country, isn't it? There's people from all walks of life, and people that actually want to give back to society and give back to the country as well, which is awesome. So, like, I think if you've got a will and you've got a drive to do something creative, or just to work hard and live in this country, because it's beautiful, it's stunning. Look at the hinterlands, look at the oceans. It's vast beauty constantly, and I think a lot of people want to live here, and luckily we don't let everybody in, so which is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? You want to let people in that want to give back and build a community and have friends and share what they have.
When I don't even know what I was going to say.
Maybe do some beatboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you can see,
I'm terrible.
I think you do some drumming workshops. I'm
No.
about to do one.
No, I try it in a drum.
Yeah?
Yeah, more of a guitarist.
Yeah, really? Well, me too.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, well, no, actually. I started singing in this band recently.
How'd you get on?
But I've been... Oh, great. I love it. Like, to be 42 years old and discover how much I love singing when I was about 30 is a real pain in my butt, because I played rhythm guitar forever in a few bands. I just enjoy music. Drums, the whole lot.
There's so much to it, though, isn't
Yeah,
there? The last time I was on stage was quite funny, actually. Me and my girlfriend were back in the UK, and it was for a charity evening for a friend who was trying to raise money for Cambodian orphans. So they said, would you like to come and perform? I said, yeah. So they give us a set list that we had to learn. And it was fully packed out. I got on stage and I started playing and I started singing, and there was a disabled girl in a wheelchair, maybe about 5 meters back from the front row. And as soon as I started singing, she stuck both fingers in her ears and closed her eyes, which slightly put me off a bit, because I thought, well, she's not enjoying this. And then just as I was thinking that, some child came along and smacked the stand over which had the music that I was playing. So all of a sudden, I got people with their fingers in their ears, no more music to read, so I've just had to go freestyle. So I completely changed the song and just played something I knew. So it's, So
let me guess, it was like a best thing you ever did.
Well, for the story, I'm going to say it's amazing, but...
Yeah, well, I can imagine that. Like, the band I was in last, another band, our guitarist, his amp completely crashed, and I was playing bass.
Yeah.
And the singer, we didn't know what to do. It was our first actual show, and the guitarist just went clank, and the amp blew up. So while the drummer and the bass player, or me, I'm the bass player, and the singer, we were just forced to entertain. People didn't have a clue. They actually thought it was part of the show. They were laughing, and I'm just keeping this bass line going, well, I don't even know what to do, but it was exhilarating.
Yeah, perfect. And then you start
There's
improvising,
no rules.
and
Well,
it goes.
And it's like we're saying, it's entertainment. There are no rules. Like, you can get stuck into, people can get stuck into, this is the show, and that's it.
Yeah, which is, for, putting that towards fire, I lived in Ibiza for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and before we came here, and it's a second home to me.
Did you take the missus?
Yes, we actually met in Ibiza.
Did ya?
Yeah, we met in Ibiza. Yeah.
Was it at the end of the 3 years?
Because
I tell you,
in the middle.
I'm being cheeky, but all I see is what I see on TV with Ibiza, and that's just party town.
It's one of the sexiest places in the world, without a shadow of a doubt.
It must be completely different to Australia. It must be totally different.
Yeah, it's less restricted, a lot. There's a lot of freedom out there. The thing that I miss about Europe and Ibiza especially is parties on the beach. Being able to listen to music on the beach and just have a bloody good time on the beach. Like, I think the problem with all the RSLs and surf clubs is they've cornered the market. And I can understand they want to preserve this beautiful beaches, but surely there's enough of it that you can just have a restaurant on the beach that plays music and have some entertainment, and because it's so natural, you can have your shoes off and it's you're in nature, you're dancing. You don't have to go into the bush to have a party. Do you know? That shouldn't be right. Or you don't want to go to a big nightclub. You just want to be on the beach, full moon, listening to some music and having a good time.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, because I I know people who move to the Gold Coast, and 5 years later they still don't go to the beach. And so you think about all the clothing they wear. They never get their shoes off. So you know what it's like. You put on a costume, you become that person. Yeah. No matter what. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And so I make sure I have my feet in that sand every day.
Well, it's essential for grounding as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just to get back to nature and just ground yourself. Just put your feet on the ground without your shoes on.
And a lot of people I know who don't get their feet in the sand are living on the Gold Coast, this beautiful place, but they tend to be pretty negative, I find. Yeah. And just they may as well live in Brisbane. Yeah.
Because I think we all live like a really fast, active lifestyle, and there's so many things to keep us occupied now. Whether digital iPods or pads, and then there's laptops, and then there's movies. You're always looking outwards, but sometimes we just need to come in. At least once a day, just come back into yourself and ground yourself. I'm really worried about like Wi-Fi and just all the gamma rays and all these rays that are floating around. Do you know what I mean?
I have it beside my head. It's always I Facebook until I fall asleep.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
Put it beside my head. I picture a day where we all just go. Yeah. Go, oh, wrong frequency.
Yeah, there you go. All gone.
Wow. I keep losing my trail, but that's okay. In Ibiza. Yeah. Do they leave rubbish on the sand?
No.
Right. Okay. That would be my personal What are you putting that on the sand for?
No, San Antonio is like the Club 18s to 30s destination where loads of drunks just go over there and just get smashed, and they're disrespectful, unfortunately. But they've got
somewhere to clean it up. Is there?
There's always the next morning, the government employ everyone, and they go and they scrape the sand down, they pick up all the rubbish, and it's all clean. Right. People should take that into their own, respect and pick it up themselves. Yeah. But some people are assholes. You can't please everyone.
No, I know. I pick it up on the beach every day. I just can't bear it. But there was a whole time in my youth where I'd never actually throw things away, but I wouldn't pick it up, feeling like but now I'm old. Yeah. It's like I can't live with that. There's a beautiful picture in front of me and a can of Coke.
It's not right, is it?
I just can't see it. I can't. And I ran down the beach, came back, and I knew it was there. I went up to my car and went, I just can't drive away from this place. Yeah. How silly. I'm locked in. Yeah, I know.
Well done, mate.
So when you say that about...
that's awesome.
About parties on the beach, that's my one go-to in my mind is like, oh, geez, I hope it's clean. Because my wife's Japanese. We go to Japan a lot.
Yeah.
They clean the beach too, but it's more like the older people in the actual neighbourhood. Mm-hmm. It's not a council thing. Yeah. Which makes the place kind of free in some ways also. Yeah, cool. But also, there's a lot of junk there's always a lot of junk there.
But if you give people the facilities to dump their rubbish, or whoever, if it's a restaurant or a bar that's opening up their venue for a party, then it's their responsibility as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then they need to employ someone to pick up the rubbish. Yeah. But it's a big problem. The thing I love about Australia is it's so vast, it's so beautiful, and it is very clean. And I really want to make a point of every surfer, because me and my friends surf all the time. I've been out surfing this morning for the Quiksilver Pro.
Cool.
Absolutely. What a place. Absolutely amazing down there. Surfing D-Bar.
When you think Currumbin is beautiful, the snapper is just Did you see these coconuts growing from above the shower? There's 3 green coconuts growing from that palm tree.
Awesome.
Must be the climate a little hotter.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Well, it's definitely heating up, isn't it?
It's amazing. That's how perfect the place is.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Sorry. You got coconuts. Yeah. Growing. It's like island life, just on a huge island. Yeah, so me and my friends always, when we come out to surf, we're walking up the beach, we always pick up, if there's any rubbish anywhere, we'll pick it up on the way and, put it in the bin.
Great, man.
And don't put it in, the thing is, if any councillors are listening, just put recycling bins everywhere. I don't understand why you just have garbage bins where you can put all the rubbish. Put recycling bins, not hard. Yeah. Just put 2 bins.
Yeah, and it plants the seed of, of what you should be doing. Yeah.
So in Hawaii, Eli, the videographer, doesn't know this yet. Well, I think I've mentioned it to him, but there is a company called Sustainable Surf, and these guys are very inspirational. So they have their own farm. They grow all their own produce, and they cater the food for all the surf events